Your initial keyword list is merely a start. You need to take that list and do a proper keyword analysis using a free or commercial tool for several reasons. Firstly, you need to find the important keywords that you've missed. It almost always happens. What you think are the important keywords are often not, and your prospects, the people you're trying to get to your site, are using different terms. Don't think this won't happen to you, that you can just guess and get the words right. In my experience, that almost never happens. So in this lesson, we're going to look at keyword analysis tools, software services that can help you learn more about your keywords. These services actually analyze what people are searching for, tell you how often they search for each term, and suggest other terms you might want to add to your list.
There are a number of these tools available, both free and commercial. As far as free goes, there are probably only two we really care about. The Google and Bing tools provided as part of their pay-per-click advertising services. You'll need to set up PPC accounts to use these, but you don't need to spend any money to get to the tools. As far as commercial goes, there are a number of options available with advanced features, but you can often learn a lot using the free services, in particular Google. By the way, if you notice bad links in any lesson, please do let me know so I can fix them in these videos. You may also run into simple free services such as Ubersuggest.org that use the search engine suggestions for keyword analysis. When you search at Google or Bing, the search engine looks at what you're typing and provides suggestions based on what other people are searching for. I don't believe these things are very helpful for a true keyword analysis, though they may be useful during the initial brainstorming phase. So let's start by taking a look at the Google tool, which is the most popular and probably the most useful of the free services. You'll need to sign up for an AdWords account if you don't already have one, but I'm not going to go into any detail about that. You don't need to actually set an ad campaign running or spend any money. Just go through the process far enough to where you can get to the management console. Once you're signed up, you'll open the Tools menu and select the Keyword Planner. Or if you're already signed into your Google account, you can use this URL to go there directly. We'll begin by clicking the first option, which opens up this form. You can enter a bunch of keywords in here. Now, you'll be spending some time with this tool. As I've mentioned before, keyword analysis is critical, so give yourself some time, don't rush it. So you can experiment with this system to find out what works for you. I'd suggest that you start with a single keyword or a small list to begin with. You can also enter a URL of a page on your site or a competitor's site even, and Google will examine the page and decide what keywords it thinks are related to that page. I personally don't find that very useful. After all, if the page hasn't been well optimized, then the suggestions aren't going to be very good. You can also select product categories, and Google will provide related terms. Remember, this tool is really designed for pay-per-click advertisers, so not all the functions are useful for us, though again, you may want to experiment a little and see what you find useful. Next, set up the targeting properly. In particular, make sure the correct country and language is selected. The next three options, whether we're interested in keywords used on Google itself or Google and its search partners, negative keywords, and keyword filters, are not very useful for our purposes. Again, these are more pay-per-click features. The keywords options can be helpful, though, in particular the first and last. The first tells Google to only suggest keywords that are closely related to the keywords you have provided. You may want to experiment with this setting, but I would suggest that to begin with, you turn it on. As for the last item, the default setting is for Google to return sanitized keyword results, which is fine for most businesses, but some may need to turn adult terms on. The keywords to include setting can also be very useful. You can tell Google to only return keyword phrases that include terms that you provide. Finally, we have the date setting. Google will show us how often each keyword is searched for each month, and by default, it averages that over 12 months. You can modify that if you wish. You may want to do that if your business is seasonal in some way, for instance. Now, when you click Get Ideas, Google is going to grab the appropriate keywords and show you this screen. Let's forget the chart at the top. It shows the number of searches month by month for all the keywords in the tables below, which is usually not of use to us, especially as we don't yet know how many of the keywords are of interest. So we can click this little button here to get rid of the chart. Let's click on the Keyword Ideas tab. Now, the first thing we'll see are the keywords you entered, and for each one we'll see the average monthly searches. How many times Google users searched for that specific keyword each month, averaged over the last 12 months, assuming you didn't change the date setting. We'll also see some pay-per-click information, an estimate of how competitive the term is, how much you would bid, and so on. But again, we're not interested in this PPC stuff. It's really how often people search for the keyword that counts. Why? Because you want to know which of your keywords people are using most often. Those are the ones that can potentially bring you most traffic. Below this list, Google will now show us terms that are related to the ones we entered, along with how often these terms are searched for. So this is where you're going to find the terms you've missed from your list. Now, back to the Add Group Ideas tab. In this area, we're getting essentially the same kind of information, keyword ideas, but they're grouped into related terms, which may help you dig through the suggestions. So, what now? Some of the suggested keywords are going to be useful, some are not. But we can take the list, drop them into a spreadsheet, and clean out the clutter. Click the Download button, download the data in Excel CSV format, and then open the list in Excel. Some other spreadsheet program, most will read Excel files. Or if you don't have a spreadsheet program on your computer, you can save the data to Google Drive and open it there. Google will open this file in its Google Docs service. As you can see, you now have the list showing the keywords and how often they're searched for each month. You can delete the pay-per-click elements if you wish. We can also delete the irrelevant terms. Then we can sort alphabetically and sort by search frequency.
I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Spend some time digging through your keywords. Don't rush it. Learn what people are really searching for, and you'll be a step ahead of most of your competition.